There's been a change in Dallas. Dan Quinn's no longer the defensive coordinator. Mike Zimmer is in. Mike Zimmer, who spent time in Dallas years ago, he's now the brand new DC. Took some time away from the NFL. Was last the head coach with the Minnesota Vikings. And, he's got some different plans and ideas for Micah Parsons and how they're going to utilize Micah Parsons. And, it appears like maybe things aren't off to the smoothest start. Micah's also, looking for a contract. He's looking to get paid as well, too. It seems like everybody in Dallas is looking to get paid. But Micah Parsons did talk with reporters a couple of days ago about just sort of how things have gone thus far with Mike Zimmer and what to expect. Let's take a listen.
Honestly, man, me and Zim probably said a total of 20 words to each other. Yeah, he's a very quiet person, and all I keep hearing from the coach is like, Zim likes it this way. I was like, well, I like it this way, so I can't wait to have my true sit down with him. I think it'll be pretty cool because obviously old school mindset, old school mentality. But I think he has a lot of great players, but he ain't never had a Micah before, so. It'll be fun, and I think it's going to be unique. There's a lot of similarities on things, how he used me with how Dan used me in the system. But he has more tweaks in terms of how he's going to set things up. And also, there's some things that I got to get used to, too. It's going to be a compromisable relationship. There's one things he's like, I'm not going to give on, I don't give on. That's a part of the whole regime,
So that's how we're starting with the Mike Zimmer, Micah Parsons relationship there in Dallas. So,
sound like a measuring going on right there.
What kind of measuring?
Out on the table. Mike Zimmer likes it this way, huh? Yeah. Micah Parsons likes it this way.
He's not wrong, though. He is that special of a talent.
Yeah.
Remember the story Belichick told on TV? I don't know how long ago this was. About LT.
Yeah.
You want to go ahead and recant it?
He had a meeting. LT was late for a meeting, and Bill Belichick went to the Big
Bill
Tuna.
Parcells.
Yeah, it told him, he was like, LT was late again for the pregame meeting, and he goes, "What'd he say?" He said,
"What?" He said, "Why'd you start the meeting?
Why'd you start the meeting without him?" Right, right, yeah. So that's the type of player he is. I mean, I'll say this though. Okay, there does need to be compromise, 100%. There does need to be an understanding, 100%. But do you think that was like a tone setter by putting that out there to the media? That just knowing how Micah is, Micah speaks his mind, and he doesn't hold cut cards. I've always been one to think that you should be strategic, and maybe that is strategic. I mean, he is a chess player. He's gotten really good, too. Maybe that is his strategic approach. I more so believe in maybe keeping something that would potentially be looked at as adversarial. I probably keep that under wraps. And maintain, plausible deniability of any type of beef or anything like that before we really, really establish what our communication lines are as a player and a coach. But it sounds as though there could be somewhat of maybe a instant power struggle of sorts. You got a new coach coming in. He has a great resume in terms of how he calls defenses. But then you have a generational franchise player in Micah Parsons who's been there and has, paid his dues as a vet to this point now. So it's kind of like hopefully they don't let this turn into something that becomes a butting of the heads and at odds with how they work with one another.
It does seem like... Was there a conversation? Do you think there was a conversation when Mike Zimmer took over? Like, hey, Micah can be a little prickly at times. He's our guy. We're going to build around him. So maybe we just need to adjust the way we handle this and go forward with this because it doesn't feel like whatever the 20 words that he said to Mike Zimmer, it seems like those didn't go all that well.
Well, he said 20 words between the two of them.
Yeah.
So it might not be, it might be, I don't know.
So if those are the first 20 words of a relationship, like that's usually when the tone is set. I don't know. Like when I first meet people, if the first 20 words aren't all that
Yeah, you don't say anything. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially if the first 20 words didn't go that well. Like you're not going to get a 21st.
Well, I mean, who reacts to I want to suck your blood? Like who reacts well to that?
Damn.
I mean, can we talk first?
Damn.
Well, man, we're having a serious conversation.
Yeah, come on, get it together.
But seriously,
Brady did
man.
that to us.
I mean, you do what was the saying say from the Bible? One must first show themselves friendly. A friend must first show themselves friendly. I mean, if you have a bad first encounter, a bad first impression, one or the other or both of them, I think they both have to be responsible in this situation, because the performance of this defense and their performances have a lot riding on the success of this team. And if I'm Micah Parsons, it makes a lot more sense now to me. I really wasn't thinking in these terms, but it does make sense to push for a new contract right now, not only because you've probably outperformed your rookie contract thus far, but the idea of not having the coordinator that you came in with, and those things can have an impact on what your success level is. You really don't know what it's going to look like once you get out there. And do you take the chance of having a down year trying to get acclimated to a different system, a new way of dealing with a coach? Seems important to try to. It seems like that's the same thing. Losing your quarterback in Minnesota, it seemed like that's what Justin Jefferson was leaning on as well. Pay me now for what I've done, because you guys have made these changes, not me. You guys have made changes, and I need to get my money before we go any further based off of what could possibly happen moving into the future.
I think he's a superstar one. So I think when you're a superstar and you're that good, you have the ability to be a little more outspoken, because if things don't work out, you're going to use that as leverage to get somewhere else where they will pay you, to your point. Yep. Or you'll get to a system, for example, like Washington, which I have a hard time thinking that the Cowboys would trade Micah Parsons to Washington. But there will definitely be some other suitors out there if he seems to be unhappy in the system that he's in with Mike Zimmer, or he's not getting the money that he wants. I remember, you got Dak, you got CD, you've got Micah. All three of those guys got to be paid. And that's not going to be an easy task based on what Justin Jefferson just did in the wide receiver market, based on what we know to be true now for quarterbacks, what they're being paid in the average annual value. It's going to be expensive.